Adventures from the Shed Roadshow here at Card Universe again, and I am here with Joey. Say hi, Joey.
Hey guys, hope you had a good snow day.
Oh yeah, it did snow here in South Carolina just a few days ago, so we're still recovering from that. It's a little hard to get through it in South Carolina and North Carolina and other places nearby. We are here today. We are going to play this game here, if I can throw it on the screen there, the Lorcana Gateway. So we have played a couple of starter sets from a couple of different game systems. We are now moving on to the Lorcana Gateway, and this is the introductory, the learn to play game. So we have all of the stuff that's involved in that here. And I'm going to move that one out of the way so we can kind of take a look at what's in the box here. So within the box are a couple of deck tips books, also the gateway rules, and they say to read them first. So we won't, I'm sure. We'll get through that. Then the guidebook. And I've already played through this once, so I actually have put all of the cards in sleeves. So we'll see that as we're playing, but the game when you first open up the box, each of the decks are or groups of cards are just wrapped individually. So they're really good about packaging the stuff. And then we have little tokens that we'll be using to keep track of our lore as we play the game today.
Very cool. I'm excited to learn how to play.
All right. So one of the things we're going to get started with is the rule book. So Joey, if you don't mind, grab that. I'll move these things back out of the way and we'll grab what we need as we need them. I'll hold on to the guidebook over here while we get ready. So one of the first things we'll want to do, I'm sure, is setting up the game.
Yeah, so we're already sat opposite each other. We're doing good.
Nice.
It says to put your deck face down on the indicated space in front of you. So we get to choose. Who do you want to play?
Since we already have that deck tip book over near you, you'll take the Ruby and Sapphire deck, which is Elsa and Mickey.
Now, do those signify anything important? Ruby and Sapphire?
Very similar to Magic, Pokemon, most of the TCG games. The color or element or whatever it is associated with that indicates what it's like. So Ruby is it's red, and it usually means it can be like faster. Blue can be more manipulative, but there are a lot of similarities to other games insofar as the colors mean something in general. And very similar to other games, you may find the same character under different colors.
Gotcha.
So you may have like a blue Anna from Frozen, and you may have a red Anna from Frozen, depending on what it is. And I know that's Elsa, but
very cool.
The same idea. And what you'll see is what's reflected by the color in the card. So the one from a certain color will have a certain ability. One from a different color will have a different ability, more appropriate to that color.
Very cool.
So we have that.
My standard Magic deck is red and blue, so this is perfect.
Nice. So you had that one. I have the Stitch and the Evil Queen. I don't think she has a name.
It's
just
Maleficent.
The Evil Queen. Is this one Maleficent? See, now you're going to make me look.
It's okay because it's a specific order.
Yes, it is. And that's what I'm going to take. It is Maleficent on this one, yes. So there is still the Evil Queen, like from Snow White.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a name. Yeah. She's just the Evil Queen. All right. So what you were saying.
Yep.
Let's go ahead with
Put
what we're doing.
the deck face down on the indicated space in front of you.
That would be deck.
On our left.
Yep.
Put your character mover on the 0 space of the lore track.
We are there.
Already done. The mover represents you and your team of glimmers on your quest for 20 lore.
That's a good point.
Can you fill me on what a glimmer is?
So I think one of the things that they made a good point of is in this game, you're not actually, well, let's say you're not killing Mickey Mouse.
Okay.
Right? These are glimmers of the Disney characters. So it's a representation of, so they call them glimmers. You're not, it's like, and I felt this when I first played it. That's kind of smart.
Yeah.
I'm not killing Mickey Mouse. I'm not killing, Anna or Elsa, whatever.
Right. You're not going to have fan
nice.
art of Little John attacking like Anna.
Yeah. So it's like, in this way, they call them glimmers, and it is really just a representation of that character from Disney.
So what are we as players to these glimmers? Is there
honestly, I can't remember if they give us a specific name. I know we're just players.
We're an Illumineer.
That's right. We're Disney Illumineers. Yes.
Okay.
And we have control of these decks with these glimmers in them.
Sure.
Now, aside from those, there are also things that we would recognize more like artifacts or items or something from Pokemon or Magic, in that there are things that you can play that enhance other things that they just stay out on the field, but they're not a glimmer. They're not a character.
Okay.
So there are things like that as well. So yeah, that's a long explanation for glimmer.
Thank you. That helps me understand kind of like where we come in. Place all the damage counters next to the board in a supply.
And we kind of have that, but I'm going to put a few of them here just so we can see them. And what you'll see is on these counters, one side, actually, on these, they're both minus, sorry. But these are the damage counters. Now, there are some other counters that you can buy. Some I actually make, but
Cool.
3D print, where you can keep track of the change in value, not just of damage, but of changes in toughness or power as well.
Okay.
Which I'm saying toughness and power. We'll see it in there. It'll tell us what the actual words are because I forget.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are the counters that they give you with the set. So
Perfect.
I'll move those back out of the way.
Sure thing. Now it says draw the top 7 cards of your deck. This is your starting hand.
Cool.
Just like Magic.
Yep.
And like Pokemon, or is Pokemon 5?
I think it was 7.
Okay.
But I mean, in the Pokemon Academy, there were some differences.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have all the same prize cards and we didn't have the full stuff. But the other thing I'll point out, we talked, I think, a little bit about the deck tips one. So in my deck, for the book that it comes with, it actually tells you a little bit about things that the different cards can do. Just to give you one example, it talks about Pluto, the rescue dog here. It says Pluto Rescue Dog has a powerful ability of removing up to 3 damage from one of your characters when he's played. So it gives you a little bit of the strategy you could use for that character, which is kind of neat. We might not spend too much time on that because we're going to just try and play through it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the other thing that we had gone through or mentioned was the guidebook, and the guidebook is what tells us how we proceed. And I just want to cover that because I don't think it's covered there yet in the rules. But essentially, when you're going with your starter deck and you finish certain challenges, so to speak, it lets you move on to the next gateway. And when we open that gateway, what it does is introduces us to more mechanics for the cards, which is kind of a neat way of progressing through what's different as you play the game.
I'm excited to see how that reflects on the cards.
Yes,
you know, like
it is
how
cool.
it delineates what you do.
Cool. So what do we got next?
We
So
need to draw
top
the starting
7.
hand.
Yeah. Now I am, just for the sake of making it easy on myself here too, I'm going to put them face up in front of me, but they're kind of mostly off the camera. It doesn't really matter, but I'm going to do it so I have my hands free to get started.
Sure.
Plus, if I want to explain something, I can do that too. But our starting hand, you know what? I wonder if I have these backwards. Give me a second here. Starting hand should have been...
You have Mickey Mouse. No, wait. Yeah, Mickey Mouse, Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, I think I had, just like I did with the other ones, I think I have it backwards. So let's...
let me check.
I'm going to switch mine.
Yeah, mine is incorrect as
Yeah,
well.
I think I did the same thing that I did with that other set, where I put them back in the right order, but face up instead of face down. So now we'll do the same thing. We will get the right ones. Now, when you get, you out there, when you get this Gateway starter set, they will be in the right order already. You won't have to reverse it like I did here. However, once you've played it, if you put them back in the wrong order like I did, then you will have to fix it.
But thankfully, the deck list is printed. So
Yeah, it is.
Easy to get
that's
that
a good
order
point.
down.
Right on the back of the deck tips book, it actually tells you the first 7 cards you're supposed to have and what the rest of the deck looks like. So when you want to put these back together, say you get farther in the game and you open up the other gates and you are adding cards to your deck, which is something we'll be doing. Once you do that, it will start mixing the cards up. So if you want to reset the game, you just follow the list that they give, put them back in order. And then we decide who goes first by flipping a coin, or you want to flip a card?
Yeah.
Let's flip a card. Sure. Come on.
Heads.
All right.
All right.
That's a decent flip right there.
Yeah, that was
I'm
really
impressed.
cinematic of a flip.
It was. That was nice. All right. So
it's the object of the game is to be the first player to gain 20 or more lore. So you're going up to 20.
Yeah. And this is one of the other things I wanted to mention. When you asked me about the glimmers, and I was like, I think it was a smart idea to not kill Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Well, one of the other things in this game is I am not actually playing to reduce you to 0 life,
Right.
right? Or get rid of all your stuff. What I'm playing the game for is to reach 20 first. We're racing to 20. Now, during the game, there may be times when I need to slow you down so I can get there faster, but I never attack the other player.
Okay.
You're only ever challenging other glimmers on the field, or just advancing on your own, or both.
Right.
But you never actually attack the other player. In that way, it is in some way similar to Pokemon, where your Pokemon are battling.
Yeah.
In this, it's all your glimmers will be doing the battling and the questing.
So it's adversarial, but it's not quite as
Yeah,
aggressive.
and I like to think of it more as it's competitive. It's a
Yeah.
race, not so much because adversarial to me, it's like player against player. In this case, it is who gets there first, so
Right.
to speak. But I just think it's a nice, it gives it a more friendly atmosphere, to me at least. It gives it a friendly atmosphere to say, I'm just trying to win instead of I'm trying to kill you.
Yeah, and that's exactly right up
Yeah.
Disney Valley. You know, like they're not trying to make
Yeah.
you do all of these aggressive things with their
Yeah.
property. But getting to play with them for a little bit is kind of fun.
It is pretty cool, yeah. So what we got?
So the most common way to gain lore is by playing characters and sending them on quests. Your starting deck has 2 types of cards, characters and actions.
Yeah.
Characters have numbers on the right side, indicating their strength and willpower. So can we pull
That
one
was
up
the
on
other one.
the...
Strength and willpower. I'll put Mr. Stitch up here.
Okay.
And we can see for this version of the Glimmer of Stitch, it has 2 strength and 2 willpower. Strength is always represented by the star kind of symbol around it, and willpower is always represented by the shield around it.
Okay. Character or actions have the word action in the bar below the cards.
And I can throw one of those up here. This is from my starting hand. Winnie the Pooh, I'm stuck. So you can see right in that bar, it says action.
Okay. Got it. So you'll send character glimmers on quests for lore and into challenges. Some also have special abilities that will help you in the game. Actions give you an immediate one-time advantage and are then discarded.
Yep.
So like creatures and spells.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
Okay.
So action is, as you mentioned, it's temporary. It happens until it is resolved, and then it goes to your discard.
Okay. And then it goes into the parts of a card.
So we can talk about that a little bit. So you go ahead and talk about it, and I'll point to it as you go.
So on the top left, it's the cost, how much ink the card costs to play from your hand.
Yep.
Okay, so something that we haven't gone over yet is your resource.
Yep. And that's part of it because the next line tells you a little bit about that.
It's the inkwell icon.
Yep.
Cards with the swirl around the casting cost can be put into your inkwell to use as ink.
Now, just as a flip to that, here's a different one that does not have the swirl. So you can see that card cannot be played as ink.
Okay.
Cannot be made in your inkwell. Cannot be placed there.
Now, what is the reasoning between what is what can be an
That is a
inkwell and
question
isn't?
for the game developers.
Gotcha. So there's really no rhyme or
Yeah,
reason to it.
I honestly don't know. Somebody out there might have a better answer for that. I just know some cards, or most cards, allow you to play them as ink, and other cards do not.
Got it. Okay. So number 3, it says the name.
Yep.
Card's name is in big print.
Yep.
Characters also have smaller print below listing what version of the character it
Right.
is.
So this one is Stitch New Dog.
Okay. Ink type is right underneath the name. The symbol and the color of the band behind the card name indicates the card's ink type.
Yep.
When you unlock new cards, you'll get the cards that match your deck's ink type.
And that's when we unlock the other gates. The cards that we get will, like in mine, will either be amber or the purple one, amethyst. I think it's amethyst. But yours will either be blue or red.
Got it.
Sapphire or ruby.
Okay. Number 5 is classification. Categories, sometimes referenced in card rules, such as hero, ally, and princess.
So we can see Stitch here is Storyborn, Hero, and Allies. And where that comes into play is other cards will play off of that. Like, for example, when we looked at the guidebook, one of the things that we have to do in order to get through gate 1 is we have to have both a hero and a villain in play at the same time.
Okay.
So this is a hero. So that would count.
Gotcha.
And then a villain. Let's see. I don't know if you had a villain.
I don't have one in my starting hand.
Okay. I don't either, so I can't show that one. But anyway, it would show the same thing. Instead of hero, it would just say villain there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So the next one is abilities and effects. The card's special rules. Common abilities use bolded keywords like supports.
And I will put this Merlin back on here so you can see he has a hoppity hip ability.
Gotcha.
So when you play this card, you will do whatever it says. Now, sometimes like this one, it says when you play this character and when he leaves play, you may draw a card. Other ones are you could remove damage, you could any kind of thing. They're just abilities that specific card has,
Okay.
but may not be or are not a standard game rule, just something specific to the card.
Gotcha. Okay. Next up is strength and willpower, which we went over
Mhm.
already. Number 9 is the lore value.
Yep, you can see that right here. So this Stitch card has a 1 lore value, which means when this card quests, that's how much lore you get. So you can see, for example, here, this Winnie the Pooh has 2 lore. So when Winnie the Pooh quests, I get 2 lore. So it moves me up 2.
Got it. And the next one, or the last one, is story text. So
it's our flavor text
flavor
for
text.
this. Yep. And some of them are pretty funny, especially if you know Disney stuff.
Yeah.
Others are just like abstract if you don't, because a lot of these I don't know. I don't know a lot of, especially newer Disney.
Right.
I think Frozen was one of the most recent things I've seen.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of them. I've never watched Lilo and Stitch, so this is
Oh, really?
different. Yeah, this is different to me.
It's a great movie.
But yeah, so that gets us through some of it. Now, well, let's see what's the next page. Before I say what we're doing next. All right,
Playing the game.
Playing the game. Here's a good thing that we can reference right on our board is on your turn. And it's, let me turn the card camera off here. You can see down this side right here on Joey's side here, you can see it tells you on your turn what you can play. And this is very useful because it is the same every turn, but it's always nice to have that little reference there.
Okay. And then it goes on to explain what ready and exerted cards are. From what I've gathered, it kind of is like magic summoning sickness.
Well, not necessarily summoning sickness. That's when a card, the ink is not dried yet.
Right.
That's a little different. But exerting equals tapping for those familiar with magic. To exert is to tap, to turn to the right or left, either way.
Is questing exerting the card?
Yes. Almost anything that the card does to do something, challenging or questing, you will exert it to do that.
Gotcha.
And then your ink, when you have ink in your inkwell, you exert the ink in order to use that resource.
Okay. So the next thing it says is your inkwell.
Yep.
It is where you put cards that you'll use as ink for the rest of the game.
Mhm.
You'll exert your ink to play cards from your hand. You can put a card from your hand into your inkwell once each turn. You don't have to add a card every turn, but the more ink you have, the more cards you'll be able to play.
Yeah. And this is one of the interesting things to me. Once you put a card in the inkwell, once you've chosen to play the card as ink, by the way, when you do that, you're supposed to take it from your hand, reveal the card, and then place it as ink. Okay. So in my case here, I would say, I'm going to take this Minnie Mouse and I'm going to play it as ink. And then you just do that. Done. Now that is forever ink.
Yeah.
It is no longer Minnie Mouse.
Okay.
It is just ink. It is one resource I can use.
Sorry, Minnie.
Yeah, she's gone for now. But very similar to other TCGs, you can have more than one of that card.
Okay.
So one of the things that I look for, a little strategy at the beginning, since that's the cost to play the card, and we'll put this one up here. This Winnie the Pooh, you can see it costs 5 to play it, which means I'm not playing it on my first turn. No chance. So I may take this Winnie the Pooh and put it as ink so that I can then play Stitch, which only costs 1.
Right.
All right. So you can kind of strategy around that. And it can definitely help because you may have a really high cost card to start and think, oh, I want to keep that. And especially if you don't know what else is in the deck. Like right now, we do know because we can look at the reference, but without really knowing what's in there, like, do I really want to spend that? Because I could be really cool.
Right. Like I could read the names,
right.
But having never played, I'd have no idea what they are.
Because he's got a lot of strength and willpower. He's got 2 lore. I'm like, that'd be really cool, but I need ink. I can't play anything without ink. Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's adding a card. As long as it has the inkwell symbol around the cost, you can add it as ink.
Next is playing a card. It says playing a card means taking it from your hand and putting it in front of you. To play the card, pay the cost in the upper left corner by exerting that many cards in your inkwell. Okay, so we know that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next one is questing. To quest with a character.
Oh, we win. That's how you get lore. The only way to get lore. Well, not the only way. Almost the only way to get lore.
So instead of tapping a creature to attack Joe, I would be exerting my glimmer to gain lore.
Yes, exactly. And technically, you're going questing.
Gotcha. Okay, to go questing.
And another thing that's very different, and this is by the rules in Lorcana, things aren't happening simultaneously like in Magic. So, and I'll use Magic as a reference because so many people are familiar with how that works. In questing is similar to combat.
Mhm.
So I would exert tap to say I'm going questing. The thing is in Magic, once you do that, if you're doing that for attacking, you assign all of your attackers, then you assign all of your blockers, and then you assign all the damage. And each one of those is its own phase, and all of it happens then.
Yeah.
Within Lorcana, as soon as you exert to quest, you immediately get that lore. You don't have to exert 1, 2, 3 creatures and then say this one is 1 lore, this is 2, this is 1, so I get 4 lore. It is technically quest for 1, quest for 2, quest for 1.
Now, can you play an action between your questing?
Yes, and that's part of why it's so important. You can do little things like that. For example, one card may say when this one quests, something happens. So you can quest with that, have that thing happen, and then quest with another.
Got it. Okay. Okay.
And that, by the way, just to throw it out here,
Please.
is if you look at step number 5, it's act, and it says right on there any number of times. You can play a card from your hand by exerting ink, exert a character played before this turn to quest for lore or challenge an exerted character. So any number of times you can do those things.
Okay. I think one of the last things here is using abilities.
Mhm.
Card abilities allow you to do things that aren't normally a part of your turn. Unless the card says otherwise, abilities don't have an ink cost, can only be used during your turn, and can only affect cards in play.
Yeah.
Some abilities are based on events in the game, and they happen whenever the card says. So like a triggered ability.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. When an ability says chosen character, you get to choose what character it affects. It can be one of yours or an
target.
opponent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it says we can look at the deck tips, but otherwise they're good to go.
All right.
Oh, challenging.
Oh, challenging. Yeah.
Yeah, the last
we
one.
want to do that one.
The other thing that I don't know.
Yeah.
Questing is how you win, but sometimes you need to slow your opponent down. This is where challenging comes in. To begin a challenge, exert one of your characters and then choose one of your opponent's exerted characters to challenge.
Yes.
You can't challenge a ready or an upright character. Both characters in a challenge deal damage at the same time. Look at each character's strength and put that many damage counters on the other character. All damage stays on the character until an ability removes it or they're banished.
Yes. There is no automatic healing.
Right. Okay. So they're permanent.
Yeah. Now, there are things, like it says, until something removes it, there are things that can remove damage counters.
Okay.
That works.
And there is no like first strike. Just because I attacked doesn't mean that my creature, my glimmer will survive.
Now, there are different abilities that do different things, right?
Yeah.
But by default, they just exchange damage.
Got it. Okay. So I
We can
noticed
give it
that
a
there
shot.
is no guided turn,
No.
unlike
Yeah.
Magic and Pokemon.
So you do have your assigned 7 beginner cards,
right.
but you don't get guidance on what to play or when.
Okay.
So it's really up to you to start. Now,
All right.
you on your first turn, you do not draw a card. It actually says on step 3, you can see it says draw a card. First player skips on first turn.
Gotcha.
Like every other game we've played, on your first turn, you don't get to draw, but you get to do everything else.
Okay. So I guess we'll start.
Yeah. Give it a shot.
I will begin by taking my rabbit, reluctant host,
Yeah.
and turning him into ink.
Yep.
I think that's better for the 100-acre wood anyway. Can I exert my ink?
Yep.
Okay.
So the only time you can't do something with a card you just played is, again, we use the Magic example of Summoning Sickness. In Lorcana, it's called the ink is not dry yet. So
Right.
your ink is drying, because the idea being you used ink to create this glimmer and it's just coming into play, but it's not dry yet.
Right.
And then next turn you can
And ink in the ink wall stays wet. So
ink
you
is
can.
always ready.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Unless it's exerted.
Gotcha. Well, then what I will do is exert one ink.
Yep.
And I'll play a Minnie Mouse. Always classy.
So one of the things that that I've seen online that they do in a couple of videos I saw is they usually play almost like in 3 layers. And rather than just your inkwell and your cards in play, you kind of put something halfway-ish to show that the ink's not dry yet. We're going to run out of space,
right?
But it's a good idea at least to start. Now, there are different things you can do. Personally have 3D printed drying markers that I can just put on the card to show that it's drying, similar to the Summoning Sickness ones. but something like that can be very useful.
Yeah.
And now because it is still drying, you cannot use it to do anything.
Right.
Now, there are abilities, some abilities that will say when this card comes into play, well, that's still going to happen because that's the ability. It's overriding the whole drying part.
Right.
Okay.
But it looks like because she doesn't have an ability, all I can do is pass the turn.
And I'm going to go and I'm going to do what I actually said the first time. I'm going to take my Winnie the Pooh here. And I'm always concerned, like I said, when I look at this, man, he's got 2 lore. He's got 5/5. So that's pretty big. However, it's going to be a while before I can play it. So for now.
Wait, Joe, you should
I'm
draw
gonna
a card
play.
first. You
I
might draw
should.
something
Thank you.
that you
very
might
much.
want to play as Zinc instead of Winnie the Pooh.
I think I just did. Well, no, I'm going to hold on to Christopher Robin here.
Okay.
Because I like the ability that showed up, and hopefully if I get to play it, I'll talk about it. In the meantime, though, what I'm going to look for is a card that only costs 1. So I have a choice between this Daisy Duck and this Stitch. I'm going to go with Daisy Duck. I'm going to exert my 1 ink, and I'm going to play a Daisy Duck. And Daisy is a 1/3 and has 1 lore.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Minnie Mouse also has 1 lore. She's an all 3.
So from there, I'm going to do that whole halfway thing just to keep myself reminded that this glimmer is drying. Okay. And just one other note, actually, now I say it, when we were talking about the parts of the card, you can see this one is Dreamborn and Ally. It's not Hero or Villain or any of those. So it's just one thing to watch for because there are things that will trigger based on that.
Okay.
So I am done. I pass the turn to the other player.
All right.
So now you have all of your steps you go through now. So if you start with ready.
I will begin.
So think magic, untap, upkeep, draw.
Right.
Ready, set, draw.
I will be unexerting my ink.
Readying.
Readying my ink.
Yes.
And now my ink is ready.
It is technically called readying when a card goes from exerted to not exerted.
Gotcha.
It's readying the card.
Okay.
So now, as in every turn, step 4 is ink. Once a turn, you may add a card to your ink well. So if there's any other card you have that you'd like to add, you can do that.
I believe I will go ahead and turn Anna into ink.
And by the way, I think the technical term in the game is play as.
Play as. So I will be playing Anna as ink.
Yeah. So everything you're doing is you're playing. So for example, they say here, and under step number 5, play a card from your hand. It's not casting, it's not summoning, it's just play. You're playing the card.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I played Anna as ink, and I will exert 2 ink. I'll exert just 1 ink. Okay. And I'll play Olaf.
Olaf.
He is the trusting companion, a storyborn ally.
Oh, and then this one actually has it's an ability, but there's a difference between, and I'll put Merlin back up here that we can see. So you can see on here, it says support, and then there's stuff in parentheses. Again, similar to magic in that when it gives you a keyword, sometimes it'll tell you right after what it is. Difference between that and this. Specifically, if you look at them, one of them is in this black border.
Okay.
That is the ability that's unique to the card.
Oh, okay.
Whereas this is really a keyword. Now, honestly, I can't remember if they call it that or not. But what that means is any character that has support, it means the same thing on every character that has support. So whenever, and I'll just read what it says, whenever this character quests, you can add their strength to another chosen character's strength this turn. So essentially, and I'll let you go ahead with your card, but essentially what that means is if Olaf quests, he immediately adds his 1 strength to another character, and then you can use that other strength to then, and maybe you beef up Minnie Mouse to challenge Daisy Duck. Right. And that is where I was saying you do each thing one at a time. So if they all had to quest at the same time, then you couldn't do that. Right. You quest to trigger this, to do that. So there are triggers within what you've got.
Okay.
And I hope I'm not making it more complex than it is.
No.
It really isn't.
You're reaffirming like the way that my brain is kind of logicking through how I should be taking this turn.
And one other thing I do want to mention here, only because it's my thing. in order to mark these cards so I could reassemble them, this is a little S, just means part of your starter deck.
Got it.
When we open gate 1, gate 2, they have 1 and 2. I wrote these with Sharpies
Good
on these
idea.
sleeves so that I could put them back together. But you'll see that on yours. That's all it means. And for anyone watching the video, that's not a part of the set. That's just
Right.
me organizing.
Maybe we should keep the gate requirements pulled out.
I have it right here. I'll have it to the side here. But in our case, we need to quest with 3 or more characters in the same turn, challenge 3 or more opposing characters in a game. So by the time we're done, quest and challenge on the same turn, and have a hero and villain in play at the same time.
Now, can I have a villain and you have a hero?
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
They just need to be in play. And it doesn't matter who challenges, who quests, as long as it's within whatever the structure is, either in the same turn, the same game.
Got it.
Okay.
I will act and I will exert Minnie Mouse and quest for lore.
So immediately move your marker up to 1. Because you get it immediately. There's nothing I can do about it.
Right.
And there's no reason to skip it. It just happens.
Oh, Olaf is drawing.
Yes.
Okay. So that is how I will leave my board. I'll pass the turn.
All right. I'm going to move Daisy Duck up here because Daisy will be dry. I will draw a card. So that was my ready. I readied my ink. Set. That is characters you played last turn can act this turn. Essentially, they dry.
Mm-hmm.
And then I draw. So I will draw a card. And let's see what I want to use for ink next, because I do want more ink. I am going to, let's see, I'm going to take this Minnie Mouse. Am I though? Am I? No, I'm going to take this duplicate Daisy Duck. Not that it matters because you can have more than one.
Right.
But this duplicate Daisy Duck, since I already showed Daisy, I'm going to play that as ink. So I don't need to put that on the camera because we've seen it. Now I have 2 ink. And I'm going to use that. I'm going to exert both of those to play this Minnie Mouse. And this Minnie is a princess, a dreamborn princess, and she has 2, 3, and has 1 lore. And I will keep it to my left as I let them dry. And I'll move Daisy over here. So now what I got to look at is there anything I can do to yours? So for example, Olaf, although he is drying, is not exerted. So he cannot be challenged. Minnie can be challenged because she is exerted.
Right.
So you can, it's almost like the reverse when you think of Magic, where
Right.
It's not attacking and blocking, so to speak. It's challenging. And you can only challenge a character who has already exerted themselves. Yeah. In a way, it's kind of neat. And I interpret it as you can't challenge a character who's ready for it. Mm. You can only challenge a character who has exerted themselves.
Right. Before they can become ready again.
So instead of that, though, I am actually just going to exert Daisy to quest for the 1 lore so I can match yours for now.
Okay.
And then when I am done, which I am now, I will pass the turn to you.
All right. Then I will ready my cards. Olaf and dry.
Mm-hmm. That's technically the set, by the way. So readying is putting all your cards upright. And then step 2, set, is where the character you played last turn can act this. Yeah.
Gotcha. I will draw for turn. It is a Donald Duck.
Oh, by the way, there was one video I watched, and I think it was with one of the developers for the game. Mm-hmm. When they ready cards, the term he was using every time was ready up. And to me, that made sense because you're putting them upright. Oh, and I like that, ready up.
Yeah.
It just sounded good, so I say that sometimes.
Sure. Okay. Ready up. I will convert Elsa and turn her into
let's see. Let's take a look at that card before you do that. What is that one?
She's 4 cost.
She's got the hero on her as well.
Yes.
Cool.
And she has an ability called That's No Blizzard. Whenever you play a character named Anna, ready this character. This character can't quest for the rest of the turn. I am converting her into ink because there's no Anna
for it.
that I know of.
There is somewhere, just not yet.
Already turned into ink.
Yeah.
So now I have 3 ink ready to go. Mm-hmm. I will... Okay. I'm going to exert 2 of my ink, and I will play Donald Duck, Boisterous Sprowl. He is a 2 cost, 2 strength, 3 willpower. Yeah. He is a Storyborn, and he has 1 lore.
I was just chuckling because I was reading the flavor text. You call him Boisterous Buster.
Oh my gosh.
And it's Donald Duck. That's good.
I'll leave him
Gotta
down
remember
here.
not to reach in front of the camera when I'm hitting that. It's cool. All right, so Donald Duck has joined the party.
Okay, this will be my first time challenging, so I want to make sure I
If you
do this
choose to challenge,
correctly.
yes.
I
Now,
will.
one of the things to keep in mind is with 3 toughness, you need that many points to knock it out. However, any points you do stay.
So it benefits you to chip away a
Yeah.
little at a time.
Now, to me, so far in the times I've played, 2 strategies. You're either racing to the finish or you need to slow the other person down. It's really your 2 options. But right now, since you went first, until I get something with more lore, it might be better for you to just continue getting lore because you'll be a step ahead of me until or unless I get more lore out on the battlefield,
Mhm.
so to speak.
What I'm going to do is exert my final ink for the turn, and I'll use my action.
Oh
He's got
boy,
a sword.
he's got a sword.
Chosen character gets +2 strength this turn.
Yeah.
And I will attach it to my Olaf
Haboo.
to give
Now,
him.
just so you know, as an
Yes.
action, it's not really attached.
Right.
It's just
Right.
played and goes away.
Yes.
But it's a good marker.
Visually,
way to
yeah.
remember
I'm
it.
marking
Yeah.
it until the end of turn, and then I'll put it in my discard pile.
Yeah.
So Olaf now has 3 strength and
Mhm.
2 willpower until the
Yeah.
end of turn. And I will send Olaf on a quest
Okay.
for 3 lore by exerting him. I'll go ahead and discard this and
So
gain
he
3
gets,
lore.
well, he gets 1 lore. It's still 1 lore.
Oh, right. 1 lore. It's not
But-
equal to his strength.
Right. But the strength that you added,
Mhm.
now that he's questing, you can add that strength to a different character.
Yes. Yes. So I'm moving
So
up
you're
to
getting
2
1
lore.
Yeah.
And I will be exerting Minnie Mouse to challenge Daisy Duck
Okay.
with 3 strength and 3 willpower.
So it will actually, how much did he's got a sword?
2 additional.
Okay. So technically, Mini will be 4 because you add Olaf's strength because of the support.
Oh, right.
So you're adding
Yeah.
3 onto the one. So,
Gotcha. He's
yeah.
a 4.
So in this case, you will be, as they say in this game, banishing Daisy Duck. However, you will have 1 damage counter on Minnie because Daisy deals 1 back.
Understood.
So Daisy has been banished.
Sorry, Daisy.
That's all right. I put the other one in ink already. There's no coming back.
Right.
Daisy.
Sorry, Donald. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
That'll be all that I do, though. Other than
Okay.
Donald, I'm completely exerted.
All right. I am going to ready up my ink and set Mini into the regular play area, and I will draw. And yeah, let's draw another Mini. What do I want to play next? Okay. I am going to. I am going to play this Minnie Mouse that I just drew
Mhm.
as ink. And then I'm going to exert the 3 ink to play this Mickey Mouse because this Mickey has 2 lore.
Mhm.
So I want to get him out there so that I can start questing more for more lore. So Mickey will come out here to hang out with Minnie shortly. Now Mickey is a hero. So if we happen to get a villain card out there, we will fulfill that
Be in
one
business.
part of our starter deck, gate 1.
Mhm.
All right. And now I think I am just gonna, it's tempting because I feel like I want to knock Olaf out of the game here. I think I will. I'm going to use Minnie to challenge Olaf.
Okay.
And since Olaf is exerted, I can do that.
Mhm.
Minnie has 2 strength and 3 willpower.
Yeah.
I can say toughness.
I know.
How many times? Olaf has 1 strength, 2 willpower. So it will banish Olaf, and Minnie will take 1 point of damage.
Olaf is banished.
But that's going to finish my turn. Your turn.
All right. So I will ready up Minnie Mouse on my ink.
Ready.
Draw my
And
card.
set.
Oh, set Donald Duck, ready to go.
Ready, set, draw.
And then draw. I will play that Donald face down as ink.
Okay. It's another of the same Donald.
Yeah.
Duck. Okay.
Yeah, same one. I will exert 3 ink and I'll play Mickey Mouse.
Ooh.
He is a detective.
And this is one that could not be played as ink because it does not have the inkwell symbol.
He has 1 strength and 3 willpower. and his abilities get a clue. When you play this character, you may put the top card of your deck into your inkwell, face down, and exerted.
So it's your choice whether you do it or not.
Oh, it's my
Yeah,
choice.
you may.
I
Yes.
may. I think I will.
Okay. Now you can look at it, by the way.
It's better off not knowing. I don't want to
I
think that
you
I've
feel
regretted.
better, yeah.
Yeah,
Now I would say later on, as you're playing the game, if you have a deck like a deck you built,
it would
then you
benefit
probably
you to
want to
know.
know
Yeah,
that your special card just got inked. But
right.
yeah, that's a funny note, though. Yes.
Next, I will send some people on quests. I will quest with Minnie Mouse, and I will challenge Minnie Mouse, yours, with Donald Duck.
Okay. So first, when you go on a quest, immediately resolve that. Go ahead and get the lore from that.
Up to 3.
So that gets you to 3, and then we do the challenge. So with that, Donald's going to banish Minnie, and Minnie will do 2 points of damage back to Donald.
Okay. Is there a 2?
Bye, Minnie.
2 -1s.
Yeah.
Do-do-do.
They do 1, 3, 5, just odd numbers.
Works for me.
Yeah.
All right. And I will. Oh, he's drying.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be up there. I will pass.
Then I will ready up my ink and set Mickey ready to go and draw. I drew a little Piglet. Now Piglet has 2 lore as well, so I want him out there.
You have some high lore cards over there.
It's nice. It only needs 3 ink to do that. I, however, am going to play this Stitch, which was on camera a couple times already, so I'll just play that Stitch as ink. And then I'm going to exert 3 of them, 3 of my ink to play the Piglet. And Piglet is a 2/4, has 2 lore, and you can see this could be played as ink and Storyborn Ally.
I love Piglet.
Piglet, yes.
Good little guy.
And now I've got Mickey ready, and because I need to start catching up some, I'm going to let Mickey go on a quest for 2 lore. So I'm going to move from 1 to 3, so we'll both be at 3.
All caught up.
And let's see. What do I want to do? Should I play this card? Not yet. I do have an action I could play, but I'm not going to play it yet. I am done. Your turn.
All right. I will ready up.
I do like the way that they worded their turns, ready, set, draw, because in my head I'm like, ready, set, draw.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Draw. Okay. I think I'm okay on my ink.
Possibly. It will really depend on what else you have. For example, one of the cards I drew is 6 for a cost. So I know I can't play that with the 4 that I have, but I'm not ready to throw more into the inkwell yet.
Would you call Lorcana resource kind of racing like it is with Magic, where you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot by not playing one each turn?
Yes and no, mainly because with Lorcana, it's all the same resource.
Yeah.
So with Magic, you might hurt yourself by if you've got like a 3-color deck and you're only playing 2 of them, you're hurting yourself by not playing the 3rd.
Right.
But where Lorcana is, every resource is ink. It doesn't matter the color.
Yeah.
I don't think it hurts as much. And a lot of it will depend on how the deck is built. If you have a lot of high cost cards, then you definitely want more in there.
Right.
But you can also have a lot of low cost cards, which means not as important.
That's kind of what I'm feeling from the beginner deck. It kind of feels like a lot of stuff is low to the ground with maybe a few big things.
Yeah.
But
I think that's common.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And to that end, I'm going to exert 5. And I'm going to play the card Soldiers.
Oh my.
Full deck. He is a 5/5 with 2 lore.
Yes, he is. Storyborn Ally. He's a big guy.
He is drying.
All right.
While he dries, I will quest with Mickey Mouse and gain 1 lore.
Mm-hmm.
And I will exert Minnie Mouse and Donald Duck to challenge your Mickey Mouse.
So here's where each thing happens at once.
Yeah.
So which one do you want to go first?
I'll do...
And this is important because when you challenge, so here's the reason why it's important.
Yeah.
I'll kind of walk through it. And to me, I like this mechanic. So when you say you're challenging, you pick one that you're challenging with, and then your character and mine exchange damage. Then when you challenge with the other, your character and mine exchange damage again.
Mhm.
So again, we'll go to the magic situation.
Sure.
In magic, if I was able to block two things with one, I would do 3 damage divided between them.
Mhm.
In Lorcana, I'm doing 3 damage to that one and then 3 damage to that one. So
Right.
Mickey's actually going to do 6 points of damage from 2 different challenges.
Right.
So that's an important distinction to make sure you're remembering, because it can definitely affect how you're choosing to challenge.
Right. Because from a sheer numbers point of view, you're getting a lot more value out of Mickey
Yeah.
Mouse by
Yeah.
taking multiple challengers.
Yep. Because it will take both of those to deal the 3 damage that it needs to knock Mickey out. However, if we go through with it, Mickey will deal 3 damage to each of them, knocking both of them out. So
You know what?
lose 2 to my 1 if you do that.
I think I'm going to be taking that back. I think you
I
convinced
wanted
me.
to explain
Yeah,
it that
you
way.
convinced me.
Because if you just quest with them, you're getting 2 lore, which
Right.
is all I can
Which
get.
is very valuable.
Yeah, and that's all I can get.
Yeah.
So in knocking mine out and losing both of yours, it puts us even at 0.
Yeah.
But right now we're even at 2.
Right.
So it's like,
Yeah. Thank you. You definitely
Yeah.
talked me out of it. I will.
Because I wanted Mickey to hang around a little bit longer.
I mean, and I'm going to be opening up a gate pretty soon.
Yeah.
I'm going to be questing with all 3 now.
There you go. So that was one of the requirements: quest with 3 or more characters in the same turn, which we're doing now.
We got 2 more lore.
Yep.
Individually resolved each.
Yes.
And that is.
And that to me is still one of the hardest things to remember, which is why I say it so often.
Yeah.
One at a time. And they do spell it out. And it's step number 5. Any number of times you can do these things. It is not do them all at the same time. It's
Right.
a number of times. Yeah.
It's a bad habit for Magic. It's
Yeah.
declaring attackers.
Because you have to. That's
Yeah.
the structure there. Yeah. Okay.
I will
That's it.
pass.
All right. I will ready my ink and Mickey and I set Piglet up into the play area
Okay.
and draw. All right, said draw. Oh, I just got me another Piglet. I think I want to play that Piglet because Piglet has 2 lore.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
I'm going to exert 3
No wonder you got a
to
big
get
movie.
my new Piglet ready, get him drying out there. And then, because I'm going for it. I'm going to quest with this other Piglet to get 2, and then quest with Mickey to get 2 more.
Uh-oh.
Now, as you can see, a game of Lorcana can go kind of quick.
Yeah.
I've played not a lot. I'd say maybe 20 times. I don't think I've played a game more than about 35, 40 minutes.
Gotcha.
That was a game with 4 people.
Right.
So it can go quick, especially
Wow.
if you just start moving.
Yeah.
Yeah. But a regular game, I'm going to say between 15 minutes and a half hour.
Now, is that a game mode?
We'll take longer because of this.
Yeah. Is 4-player Lorcana like a separate game mode with different variant rules?
No, because there's nothing that makes it different with multiplayer.
Gotcha.
So everybody's just trying to get 220.
Right.
So I'm not trying to reduce 3 other players from 40 to 0, like a Commander 4-player game.
Yeah.
I've got 120 life to get rid of, right? If I'm going to
Yeah.
win. In Lorcana, no matter how many people are playing, you're trying to get to 20 lore.
You just have 3 other people
Yeah.
to possibly slow down.
Yep. And them to slow you down.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
And after questing with both Piglet and Mickey, you know what? This may be when no, I'm not going to use my card yet. The action card I'm holding on to, I think is going to go to the soldiers. But
Uh-oh.
we'll see.
Okay.
See. My turn is done. Go right ahead.
All right. I will. Ready.
And by the way, you've done 2 challenges. So in order to unlock gate 1, we only need 1 more challenge in the game.
Got it.
You have quested and challenged on the same turn. So we need 1 more quest, and we need to have a hero and villain in play at the same time.
Have you drawn any villains?
Not yet.
Me either.
There will be 1.
Okay.
Otherwise, we couldn't proceed.
Right. I know, right?
I mean, I know for sure Maleficent is in here and Maleficent is a villain.
Right.
I just didn't draw one yet.
Right. I will draw for turn.
Yep.
I have options.
I do the Star Wars thing every time I see that card.
Star Trek?
Star Trek, damn it.
Ooh, man, you'd make a lot of people
I
mad.
just made myself mad. Remember when Captain Picard was on the, yeah, no.
No, let's not go down that road. I will. I'll exert 4, and I'll play Goofy, Super Goof.
The Super Goof. Oh, let's take a look at that card.
Oh,
It has
yeah.
some new stuff on
Absolutely. He has Rush,
it. Okay,
which
so
means he can challenge.
Rush is essentially, think haste, but it's not. It just means you can challenge on the turn it comes in. You can't quest, but you can challenge.
Okay.
So you can come in and punch somebody else.
Right.
You can't go pick up a lore.
Okay.
All right. And then it has its own ability. And this is what I was saying with that kind of what I call the black border or the highlight. That's when you know it's specific to that character. Whereas rush as a keyword, any character can have.
They could have it.
Yes.
Got it.
So yeah, when this character challenges another, you gain 2 lore, and he has that benefit of being able to challenge as soon as he comes out.
Okay.
So one of the nice things about Goofy, or that specific card, and you can grab that,
Yeah.
is not only can it challenge immediately, but you'll get 2 lore if you do.
Right.
Now you get 2 lore no matter when it challenges, but you can get it immediately if you chose to do so.
Now, I actually thought that was only the first turn, but that triggers every time. That's
Yeah.
a good ability.
And it's, again, just like the other games, remember the trigger because otherwise it's lost.
Right.
Yeah.
So now I need to quest and challenge. I'm definitely going to be challenging.
And you can challenge Piglet because it is not exerted.
Right.
You can't challenge Piglet because it's not. I forgot the T at the end. You can't challenge Piglet.
I only have 2 valid targets.
You can challenge this Piglet and this Mickey.
Right. I will be challenging Mickey with Goofy. So we will exchange 3 on Goofy and 2 on Mickey. Sure.
No.
All right. I will be challenging challenging Mickey Mouse with Goofy.
Okay.
So 2 damage on Mickey.
And 3 damage
3 on
back to
Goofy.
Goofy. So I will take 2 -1s onto Mickey, and you can use the -3 on Goofy. Okay.
And I will be moving up by 2 spaces.
Yes, because you get 2 lore for doing that.
Yep.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, very nifty. I will be challenging Mickey Mouse with Donald Duck. I know.
Time for both of them to be banished because Donald's going to do 2. Mickey only has 1 remaining, and Mickey does 3 to Donald, who had 1 remaining.
Right.
So they are both banished.
Goodbye. And then I will go a questing with Mickey Mouse to gain 1.
Yep.
And Minnie Mouse to gain 1. And then I will be challenging Piglet with my card soldier to deal 5.
Okay. I can't say that's a bad move because it'll knock Piglet out. It'll banish Piglet. 2 points back to the card soldiers.
Down to 3.
Those are that's one of those where I'm still internally, as I'm learning Lorcana, I'm thinking, what's better to have just the 2 lore or to make me not have 2?
Right.
And what I would say is because you already have others out there, I think that was the better move. But if you didn't have the other characters out there, then I would probably use it for lore.
Yeah.
But I don't know that that's right either. It's just what I would think.
What makes it more complicated is that you would get 2 lore from questing. So that's not nothing,
Right. It's a big deal because no matter how many of my characters you knock out, you can't win without 20 lore.
Right.
You have to achieve the 20 no matter how many times you stop me from getting there.
Dragging it back to Magic, it's almost like with life, where if you have life to spend as a resource, might as well do it because it's not the one that'll make you lose.
All right. It doesn't matter how much life you has. It matters that the other person has 0.
Exactly.
Right.
So Lorcana's interesting because now you kind of have to feel out what that equivalent is.
Yep.
While going up.
Completely agree. Because right now I'm looking at this, you've got, and this is internally the way I'll do this, is you've got 5 lore available on your turn.
Oh.
Because I can't do anything to those creatures on your turn. I can only do something on my turn. But on your turn, you've got 5 lore available, which means
quarter of what you need.
Right, from 10, you're up to 15, unless I slow you down. I've only got 2 lore available, so I'm only going from 7 to 9 at best.
Right.
So I'm looking at that thinking, I am not going to outpace you. Now I need to slow you down because of how much you slowed me down.
That's kind of fun because it's kind of like an evolving goal because as you gain power and if the board state kind of shifts, then I would be playing more defensively when you have more glimmers out.
And that's what I was saying. I think before we started, I'd mentioned to Joey, I really like a lot of the mechanics in this. And a lot of it is that strategy of how do I get ahead without letting you get ahead of me getting ahead.
Yeah.
Right. But it's really neat.
Yeah.
Anything else you wanted to do?
No,
I see you have 1 ink and you have a card in your hand.
I do.
So I'm not saying you're out of it.
No, I am.
You're not going to play it. Okay.
Go right ahead.
All right. So my turn. I will ready up my ink. I will set Piglet over to my play area, and I will draw a card. I have drawn a Pluto. So now this is where I got to figure out what the stink I'm doing. Because I need one more Laura or one more ink out here. So I'm going to finally play this Christopher Robin, which I had been holding on to. I didn't want to play it because of the cool ability. The we'll always be together. Whenever you ready this character, if you have two or more other characters in play, you gain 2 lore. That's just by readying.
That's good.
And you have to ready each turn. However, it's 6 to play, and just putting that one as ink is still only going to give me 5.
Yeah.
So I'm still like behind where I want to be. But I'm doing all that because now I'm going to play this Merlin, which I've put out here a couple of times earlier, but we'll actually talk through it. I'm going to exert the 4 ink I need to play Merlin. And then whenever I play this character and when he leaves play, you may draw a card. So I'm playing him. He will be drawing, and I'm going to draw a card. And there's no maximum hand size.
Okay.
So you don't have to discard or anything like that. You'll notice on the turns, it doesn't say anything about discarding.
Yeah.
So anytime you can draw cards is good because then you have it and you're ready to play it.
Because then you have glimmers, actions, or potential ink.
Oh, and by the way, even though glimmer is a technical word, for whatever reason, throughout the rest of the rules, they just call them characters.
Gotcha.
That's why I keep saying character, but yes, glimmer is what it is. However, throughout all of the rules, it says characters after that. So yeah, it's a character. Character glimmer. All right. So now I can't, well, I guess I could challenge Minnie, but if I challenge Minnie, then I'm only reducing you by 1 lore, whereas I've only got 2. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to quest with Piglet to get the 2 lore from it and be right now 1 lore behind you. But as you start your turn, you're going to have more. This is where I'm going to try and slow you down slightly by using my final ink to play our first action. No, you played an action, didn't you?
I have.
You did. So I'm going to play our second action. And that action is Winnie the Pooh being stuck in a tree. I'm stuck. Oh, bother. So chosen exerted character can't ready at the start of their next turn.
Gotcha.
I'm going to throw that at the one that has 2 lore. So
idea.
card soldiers cannot ready on your turn.
Gotcha.
Does not untap during its
Right,
controller's
exactly.
next untap
Yeah.
phase, right? So that's specifically for the card soldiers, and then that's the end of my turn.
Okay.
So your turn.
So
you will almost all ready.
Almost everybody.
Yeah.
Cards are stuck. Can't get them out of the deck box.
Yep. That's it.
Everybody else is good to go, and I'll draw. Okay. I will turn my Minnie Mouse into ink.
Now, here's where I would say, only because I know what you've got over there, I don't think I would. Adding more out there, because Minnie Mouse is 1 lore, right?
Yeah.
So you've already got 5 other inks, and I can see your other card is only 2 for a cost. I would just play both of them.
Do you think?
Why not?
Sure.
Now, it's up to you on the mental strategy of holding onto a card.
Oh, I just don't know if there's anything that's going to be more than what I have.
And if there is, then you can wait another turn, add it.
Yeah.
Because so far you've had nothing more than 5.
Right.
I did have something that was 6, but I just made it ink. I don't know if that deck has something that's 6. It may. But I would, because you're adding 2 more lore onto your formidable board already.
Right.
I would just play both cards because it only costs you 3 and you've got 5.
Gotcha.
And for that matter, even if you don't want to play both, you play one of them, hold the other in your hand for the psychological strategy. But I would definitely get them out there because then next turn, that's 2 more lore to add to your group.
Right.
So you need 3.
Yep.
3 ink to do that.
Yeah, not 4.
And then you'll play
Minnie Mouse,
and
I'll play Khan. He is a beloved steed.
Nice. Cool. So he has 3 strength, 2 willpower, and a
good for 1 lore.
Yep.
I'm going to move everybody else up. These 2 are not ready. And I will go ahead and quest with Goofy for 1.
I'm sure.
Well, you know what? Yeah, I'll do that for 1 lore. I will quest with Mickey for 1 lore. And Minnie Mouse also for 1 lore.
Yep.
And I will pass turn.
We need to get a villain out here.
I know.
I'm going to ready it. My ink and piglets. We'll get Merlin up here in the set in the play area, and I will draw a different Stitch. So I had what was the other one today? I played it as ink.
New dog.
But this is a different, it was New Dog. This is a different Stitch. It's just a 2/3, no abilities, but 1 lore. And trying to see if I'm going to play that. No, I'm going to have to play Pluto because Pluto, although is 5 ink, Pluto, by the way, Card Universe, family-friendly atmosphere, in case you hear that in the background. But I'm going to play this Pluto. And Pluto is a 4 strength, 5 willpower, has 2 lore, and he has his ability of To the Rescue. When you play this character, you may remove up to 3 damage from one of your characters. Now, right now, none of my characters are actually damaged. So I was kind of holding on to that, but I need to get more lore out here. And with his 4 strength and 5 willpower, he can withstand at least 1 hit from one of your guys. And then I'm just questing. I'm questing 2 for Piglet and then 1 for Merlin. So I'll be 1 point behind you. Your turn.
Yeah, bad news, Joe. I think that's all I needed.
I do think so, because you only need 7. And I think you've got 7
I
out
think it
there.
adds up just
Yeah.
to 7.
And that's part of, for me, that final turn is part of the strategy to watch for on your turn.
Yeah.
If the other person can make it, you should do something to stop it. I don't think there's anything I could do to stop it.
Right, especially without instance or anything, any interaction on my turn. I drew Webby Vanderquack. I'll go ahead and exert the
Webby's
3 to play her. She's the 3/4.
She's an
1
enthusiastic
lore.
duck.
And she gets to watch everybody go on a quest without her. I will
Yeah.
quest for 7 lore total.
And that gets you to 20.
Mosey on up to 20.
So we're going to pretend we had a villain out here.
Yeah.
Just so we can move
I
on
would
to
love
the
to
next
see what
step.
that looks like.
So we're going to, let's just go ahead and reset quick, and grab all our cards, because here's where we'll shuffle, by the way. But we are going to add, I'm going to pick all these cards up and put them just over here for now. And then we are going to get gate 1.
There we go. And what is your bonus?
1, 1, 1, 1, 1. All right. So for mine, gate 1 gives me those. For yours, gate 1 gives you those.
Thank you.
And this, just so you can see, in the set, they are split like this. And it even tells you do not open yet. You open it when you unlock gate 1. You open up the stuff that's marked gate 1.
Very
I'm going to put that aside. And
Oh yeah, all the songs.
so, so what we get from that, and I will put here, gate 1 is songs, and it tells you about songs. As you were the narrator to start, let's have you continue with that.
Songs are a kind of action card. You can play them by paying their cost with cards in your inkwell, just like with any other action card. But there's another way to pay for them without paying ink. You need to have a character in play whose cost is the same as or more than the song's cost. If you do, you can exert that character to have them sing the song instead of paying ink. That still counts as playing the song card, which then goes to your discard pile as usual. Okay, rules for when you can exert a character still apply, so characters can't sing songs in the same turn they're played. Aside from that, any character can sing any song that has the same cost or less. You could find something unexpected, like Mickey Mouse singing Part of Your World.
Yep.
That is very cool.
That's a card I put up here to take a look at as a song, but it's part of your world. And this, to me, I don't know all of the Disney lore. However, this is one of those that I think they played really well.
Yeah.
I say this because not only so many Disney songs or Disney movies have a song as the central theme, but they use some of that. My favorite is an example that I've seen. I don't think it's in these cards, but The Little Mermaid. When Ariel gets her legs, one of the things that happens is Ursula takes her voice.
Yeah.
Well, there's a card that's aerial in human form, and aerial in human form cannot be used to sing songs.
That is cool.
And I'm like, that's pretty cool.
I like
It's a
that.
cool bit of lore.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff that we find like that in here. Stuff that if you know more Disney movies, you'd understand more. But there's a lot of that neat stuff in here. I like that. So we've got that. Now, does it say, I'm pretty sure we're supposed to just shuffle these into our decks, but I can't remember if it actually says to do that or not. Because we're not just adding them to the top of our deck or anything. I think we just shuffle now. Yeah. So what does it say there?
It says check off the box to the right, open
Yeah.
reward pack 1. Look at the color behind the card names and separate the cards into their decks.
And we did that. Yeah.
The Stitch and Maleficent decks get the yellow and purple. Elsa and Mickey get the red and blue. And then it just says to turn the page to open the gate and continue.
Yeah.
So I guess
we're going to
shuffle them
yeah,
in.
we're just going to shuffle them in. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's how I played it previously too.
Okay.
Because we're just expanding what the deck can do now. We're
Right.
learning a new mechanic, which
Right.
I really like the way they're like, play it until you've done enough of the beginner stuff.
To learn.
Yeah. And
like
then
add on.
add a new thing in. So now we're adding songs in here.
Cool.
And we will shuffle these. And this is probably the only gate we'll do as far as playing through this. But so you know, there's 2 and 3, and 2 is items with ability costs. So that's one of them. One of them that's in here again. Little Mermaid thing, the Dingle Hopper.
Oh,
So
cool.
the Dingle Hopper is an item, so it's out there and you can exert it to do something, or it does stuff.
But it doesn't have to be with Ariel.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. And then gate 3 was, can you get,
Yeah, sure.
for some reason I can't read the page right.
So the last one is Endless Adventure.
You know, I'm not sure if that one actually says.
It says there aren't any new card types.
No new card types.
Just great cards to round out your
Yeah.
deck.
There you go.
Standard deck has 60 cards.
Yep.
Yours has 66, so you can take out up to 6.
Yeah. So that's once you've opened everything, the deck gets that big.
Cool.
I left a Winnie the Pooh up here. Let me add that. I forgot one of my Winnie the Poohs.
So typically games
Mhm.
open up to 4 other gates before getting to 20 lore.
In this, only in the starter. Gates isn't a thing in the regular game.
Oh,
This is just a way for the starter for you to learn different mechanics.
understood.
Yeah. Yeah. By default, if you, for example, if you buy a starter deck, not the gateway system that we're playing now, but if you go, you know, like behind the counter here and you grab a starter deck, by the way, I think Lorcana is a economically affordable game. Insofar as the starter decks are like 15, 16 bucks, and you can play the game immediately. You can play the game for less than $20, which is nice. Then there are boosters and all that. But when you buy one of those, it has the 60 cards in it. They're balanced, and you just shuffle them and play. There's no gates or anything like that. You're just trying to get to 20 lore.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
I like that it is kind of like a separate game mode if you want to keep the decks together.
Yeah, it is kind of neat. Yeah. And that's why I did the whole marking them so that the ones with an S are your starter hand. And then the other ones for gate 1 have a little 1 on them. So they can be separated later. All right. Shuffled about as good as I'm going to.
Yeah.
And now that we had a real shuffle, why don't you go ahead and
Oh, yeah.
cut that
All
for
right.
me? And I'll cut yours when you're ready.
Please do.
Like that.
Now, do you want to restart at 0 lore?
Yeah, we do.
All right.
Yep.
Here you go.
And I'm not starting with you at 20. Now, if you want me to start at whatever I got, under
No,
11,
that would be a
sure.
handicap, and I think higher of you than that, Joe.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, now we
Then,
draw 7.
yeah. And what we can do, since you won the last one, you can choose whether you go first or not.
I'll let you go first.
Okay. I will go first this time. So we'll do 7. This time I'm going to hold them because they're not predetermined now.
Yeah.
So I'm going with 5, 6, 7. All right. I'm going to start by,
My binder, maybe.
I'm going to ink Christopher Robin, same card I did last time. So we've seen that one already. And then I'm going to use that to play Olaf. See, I got Olaf too,
Cool.
but I have Olaf in purple, which is amethyst. I can never remember these. Purple. It's purple.
What kind of cards are the purple cards?
These kind?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's kind of like with Magic or even Pokemon, there's that whole color wheel kind
Yeah.
of thing that tells you better. With there being 6 here, I don't remember all of them.
Gotcha.
I wish I could. But the ones that to me are kind of the easier ones to remember are the red, the ruby, which again is more aggressive. Blue, which is more manipulative growth kind of thing. And then there's another one that's not in here. It's steel. And steel is, strong. Like trying to think, there's like a Mufasa or a Simba grown up with like high power or strength and willpower. So they're bigger, beefier things. So there are definite differences between them, which is why it's so neat to be able to see. I think your Olaf was blue.
Yep.
I have a purple one.
Gotcha.
So it's like Olaf can have different forms, and this one probably has different strength and willpower.
Yeah.
And that's going to be my turn. So I am done.
I will draw for turn.
One I cracked for you, it's the same price, 9 or raw, same thing. If you want, up to you, I can crack it for you.
Okay.
If I look good enough, I can see your cards on the screen.
Hey, don't. No, please.
All I can see, all I can barely see is the number on the top. Viewers will be able to see it. Oh, mine.
Well, maybe they can see all the misplays that I'm about to make. Well, there's a new option.
You too.
I will convert Go the Distance. I'll turn it into ink.
All right.
It is a song from Hercules. I'll exert it.
I think I saw that one once, like when it came out, like 15 years ago.
I had that one on VHS when I was a kid.
Nice.
It's really interesting how they blended like Las Vegas aesthetic with Greek
That's funny.
setting.
Yeah.
Because they would have loved that as the ancient Greeks. I'll play Olaf, Trusting Companion again.
Different one.
Yeah.
He's the blue version.
Double Olaf.
He's a 1/2 with support, whereas my Olaf is a 1/3 with no ability, no keyword.
And I will pass the turn. You draw.
Right. I will ready up my ink, set Olaf into the play area, and draw. This one's a little tough. I'm going to ink a Daisy Duck and use that. Let me see. Yeah, I'm going to use the 2 ink I have available to play the Magical Maid. And the Magical Maid is a 2/2, 2 strength, 2 willpower, and 2 lore. And that's from Beauty and the Beast.
I'm not familiar with
The
her.
Duster.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And that will go out there drying, and I'm going to go right into questing for 1 with, that's yours.
Hey.
With mine. All right. And that is the end of my turn. You go.
Cool. I will ready my ink. Set my Olaf, and then draw a card. I will.
You're going to do something.
I've got to figure it out.
That to me, even though I love the idea of using the cards as a resource, which means you don't have to load your hand with ink, so to speak. They're all playable cards, but you can then use them as ink.
Right.
But that then introduces the idea of, do I want to do that one now? Or is that one going to be more useful when I can play it instead of inking it?
Yeah, it's a very interesting dynamic. I will ink Olaf, Trusted Companion, my second one.
Different dude, yeah.
And I will exert 2. And I'll play Seldom All They Seem as a song.
Okay.
I'm not going to sing it. Neither will Olaf. Chosen character gets -3 willpower this turn.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
No, you don't want to do that.
No, strength.
Strength. Yeah.
Never mind.
Undo.
Undo. It is now
easy
undone.
enough.
Yeah. Instead, I think I'll ink Seldom All They Seem.
I think I just slapped the microphone. Sorry, folks.
I will then exert 1 ink and play second Olaf.
Okay.
And I'll quest for 1.
All right.
Oh, that's you.
See?
It's not
contagious.
so easy. And now we're both at 1.
Yep.
And I'll end my turn.
All right. I will ready my ink and my Olaf. Set Magical Maid up there. And the Magical Maid card made me think another one of these things that I've learned playing the game is names of some of the Disney characters I didn't know.
Yeah.
Because if they have a name, they put them here. Although, like the Feather Duster, it was just Magical Maid. Apparently, she didn't have a name in the movie, so she didn't get a name.
Gotcha. See, I haven't seen Beauty and the Beast very much. So when I saw that art, I thought maybe it was something from Alice in Wonderland with the way it was framed.
That's a good point. It isn't, but that's a good point. I am going to go with my first song. And in order to do it, I'm actually probably making a mistake, but I'm going to use my characters. So 2 and 1 is 3.
Oh, you can combine casting
Yep.
spells.
And use the Friends on the Other Side, which
Ooh.
really just lets me draw 2 cards.
Love that song.
So I'm doing that. And that's from a movie I haven't seen.
Me either, but I only know that song.
And I'm drawing
It's one of the best villains.
2. So part of this was I was hoping to draw another card that I might want to play as ink. And I think I did.
I'm gonna completely derail this podcast and say I guess advertisement to the other podcast.
Yeah.
When it comes to D&D, I based one of my characters from high school on the shadow magic present in that movie and that villain song. He was a shadow caster from 3.5.
That's pretty cool. I am going to, I like that. I am going to ink one of the cards I just picked up, which was Magica Dispel. Since we haven't seen that card yet, I'll put it up here. But this is one of the villain cards. I'm going to actually say Storyborn Villain Sorcerer.
Cool.
And I'm just inking that one. And that gives me then the 3 that I can exert to play Jafar.
Ooh, Jafar.
A big deal.
Yeah, he is.
And he is a 2/2 for strength and willpower. He has 2 lore, and he has the I am your master now. When you play this character, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put one on top and the other on the bottom.
Pretty good for 3 ink.
Yeah, so I'm doing that, playing him out there, and I'm going to look at the top 2 cards in my deck. And whoops, I'll put them here so that people can see what I picked up. But see which one do I want to put on the top and which one at the bottom. I am going to put this one at the top and this one at the bottom. And mess up our characters there. But there we go. And since I use my characters to sing, they are exerted and they cannot be used for questing or challenging. So that completes my turn. I am done. Your turn.
All right. I will ready, set, and then draw. And then I have to decide what to get rid of. Very hard. I will convert Webby Vanderquack from last game into ink.
Nice.
And I will then... Cool. I will exert 3, and I'll play a Pascal, Inquisitive Pet. He is a 3/3 Storyborn ally. And when I play this character, look at the top 3 cards in my deck and put them back in any order.
Yeah, I like the little abilities like that. Anything that stacks your the top of your deck so you kind of know what's coming up next is nice.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially when you have other cards that are just draw cards. That's nice. If you put the card you want at the top and then you can draw it, not a bad idea.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. All right. So that is now done, and I will then... Yeah, that doesn't seem like a good value proposition. I'll go questing for 2 and gain 2 lore.
Do.
And that brings me up to 3.
3.
And I will pass.
All right. I will ready up my ink and these 2 characters and set Jafar up there and then draw. And I knew what I was going to draw because I put one on the top and one on the bottom, which means I knew that I'm going to do the same thing again since it's another Jafar.
Another Jafar.
Yeah. So now when I play it, I'm going to look at the top 2 cards of my deck, put one at the top and one at the bottom. Let's see.
Now, do you think Jafar would have been happy about having a second Jafar pop in?
No.
I don't think so.
Well, then again, if they're both on the same page,
I don't think he's the type of
Yeah.
person that would, but
probably not.
I can see him going one way or the other. Maybe he's what's the word? Narcissistic enough to be with it.
I'm actually at a toss up here. I'm going to keep this one on the top and put this one on the bottom. Coincidentally, the one I'm putting on the top is another Jafar, but a
way.
different card of Jafar, a different type, a different. Can't remember what they call it. But it's a different theme, different
Gotcha.
name. So this is Jafar Lamp Thief. The other one is a different name.
Three Jafar would just be too much.
I'm just gonna go get me some questing lures and stuff. 1 with Olaf, 2 with Magical Maid, and 2 with Jafar, and I am off to a head start. Bam! Your turn.
Very good. All right. I will.
Yep. All right. We had to pause for a bit to take care of business here at Card Universe. And now that that's taken care of, we think we left it off as me passing the turn to Joey. So we're going to do that.
If we were incorrect, please write a comment. Write into Adventures from the
Shed.
Adventures from the Shed
At
email address.
gmail.com is one way to do it. Comment on the video. Yep.
And then we'll be able to restart the game and pick up where we should have left
You
off.
can scold us however you like. But yeah, we'll get started back with Joey's turn.
No problem.
So,
Ready my
ready.
cards. Ready my cards. Set Pascal. And then draw. All righty.
Let's see what you get.
What did I get?
What you got?
A lot of nothing. I'm going to play He's Got a Sword as ink.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Like that. Oh, yeah.
I will exert 4 ink.
Mm-hmm.
And I will play Duna. Iduna, Caring Mother.
Mm-hmm.
She's a 3/3 storyborn. The same mother?
Mentor.
Queen.
Queen, yeah.
When this character is banished, you may put this card into your inkwell, face down and exerted.
That's pretty cool.
That's a good ability.
Automatic ink.
Yeah, I love that. Now I need to decide what to do about your board states.
Yeah, it's in pretty good shape.
Yeah, you should be
Yeah.
proud.
I am.
I think I will use Pascal
Uh-oh.
and I will challenge
Oh,
your Jafar.
this one.
Yeah.
Okay. His ability is only when he comes into play. So, okay. So the challenge of a 3/3 against a 2/2 means my character will be banished, and yours will take 2 damage.
Roughed up, but okay.
Roughed up, but hanging in there.
And then I will go on a quest with both of my Olaf.
Olafses.
The Olafses.
The Olufins. So you'll get 2 lore out of that. Or you get 1 lore twice.
1 lore twice brings me up to 5. And
Yeah.
that will be all I do.
Okay.
Trying to close that gap.
I will ready up my 2 characters there, my 3 ink, and get Jafar ready for battle. The other Jafar.
Right.
And I'll draw. Let's see what I get here. I kind of knew what it was because I was able to look at the cards last time.
Yeah.
This was the other Jafar I was talking about. We need 1 more ink for that, so I'm going to play this Minnie Mouse as ink, and then exert those 4 inks for this other Jafar. I'll put him over here. Well, I'll put him over here first. There's a different Jafar.
What is Jafar?
Jafar, a wicked sorcerer.
Very cool.
And he has Challenger +3. So Challenger is a normal keyword, but it is a +3. So while challenging, he gets 3 more strength.
Wow.
Which is pretty cool.
That's great.
So essentially, while challenging, he's a 5 for strength. So he's stronger, but doesn't have the amount of lore as the other Jafar.
Now, is that if you were to attack with, or to
challenge,
but not when he is being challenged?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
When challenging, not challenged.
Gotcha.
Oh, that was more clever in my head. However, We're gonna start some quests. 1 for the Olaf, 2 for the Magical Maid, and 2 for
Uh-oh.
the other Jafar.
They're getting pretty far away.
Uh-huh. And with any luck, next time I've got 6, which brings me so much closer. Then, let's see. Well, technically, I don't have anything else I can do. So how about you go?
All right.
All right.
I will ready up. Ready.
Ready, set,
All ready. Set.
Aduna.
And draw. Hmm. Okay.
Let's see.
I will. Goodness gracious. I
You
never
gotta
know what to
think.
do. I know.
Crazy.
It's unbelievable. Like,
It's not like playing a swamp.
right. It's not mindless anymore. You have to decide if it's worth playing or worth keeping.
That's to me, I think I said it earlier too. It's one of the strategies I really like, the way the game plays out. Most of your cards, I'd say probably 90%, feel like you can play them as ink or play them.
Yeah.
So you've got to make that choice.
I will exert out and I will play Aurora, Regal Princess.
Nice.
She is a 2/2 with 2 lore,
Yeah.
and she's a hero, which is beneficial
Ew.
to me because
That also means we technically have a hero and villain.
oh, so if we didn't have the gate unlocked, now we would have.
We would, yep.
And I will also play Anna, Braving the Storm. If I have another hero character in play, she has +1 lore.
That's nice. And that's the I was born ready.
Yeah. These 2 are
That's
dry.
substantial. Yeah.
I'm
Now, lots of laughter here at Card Universe today.
we like to keep it light.
Yeah.
I will go questing with both of my Olafs
Okay.
and move up 2 lore.
Mm-hmm.
I will challenge, I know, your Jafar, who was exerted,
Okay.
so that we both are banished.
And with Pascal?
Yes, with
Okay.
Pascal.
Yep. So that will deal the damage needed to both sides. Yes.
Okay.
So you just wiped out 2 Jafars's, Jafusins.
The Jufeed?
The Jafariousness.
Ooh, yeah, with how nefarious the Jafarians
Yeah.
are.
Nice.
And with Iduna,
Mm-hmm.
what will I do? What will I do?
Are you still quest?
I will. Well, no, I shouldn't quest with her because I want her Enduring Love to trigger. So I need her banished.
Well, that's only if I challenge it. And in order for me to challenge it, well, I shouldn't say it's only if I challenge it. You can challenge mine with it, but I could also challenge yours with it. But I can't challenge you if it's not exerted.
Right.
So if you exert it for lore and I want to challenge it, then I could. But if you exert it to challenge it, then you just challenge.
I need to slow you down. So I will challenge your magical maid.
I thought you might.
I think
So
I have to.
you with a 3/3 and me with a 2/2 means you end up with 2 damage and mine goes away.
So then I am left with both my Olafs gone.
Horrible shame.
I know. And Aurora and Anna ready to go.
All right.
For what it's worth, she would have had more power had it been needed, but not needed.
No.
So I'll pass.
All right. I am going to ready my ink and Olaf and set Jafar up there into the play area. The other Jafar. The other Jafar. How many other Jafars do you have?
Give the Jafarist away.
He's the Jafariest. Let's see. What should I do? I'm going to. I'll do it this way. I'm going to exert 1 ink to play a Daisy Duck, which is a 1/3 with 1 lore, and then 1 more ink to play a Stitch, which is a 2/2 with 1 lore. Got to put stuff out there now that you're, banishing them all.
I need to. You're getting pretty
Yeah,
far ahead
yeah.
of me.
But now we're going to, what are we going to do? Let's see. I am not going to challenge. I'm going to go 1 with Olaf and 1 with the Jafar.
Worried you would do that.
And That's it. Your turn.
Okie dokie. I
A
will.
bit shorter.
I will. Ready.
Untap, upkeep, draw.
Ready,
Ready,
set,
draw.
draw. Ready, set,
Ink.
draw. My ink.
Right.
Then
My
draw.
ink. Draw.
Okay. So
And I was wrong with something I did earlier. When I did more than one character to sing, that is actually wrong. There's a different one called Sing Together, which I did not have. So I did that wrong, but you won that game anyway. And no, that was this one because songs were introduced.
yes.
If I win, it's because I cheated. Just so you know.
No, it was just because we had an ignorant
Yeah.
advantage, I think. That's totally fine.
Yeah, I forgot about it. It's just there's another one called Sing Together, which allows you to use multiple characters to do that. And I don't have it, but it just reminded me of it when I was looking at the card I have.
Yeah. I was actually trying to do something similar, but now I know that I can't.
So clockwork, I'll show you.
However, I can still do this. I will go on a quest with Olaf and with Olaf to go up to 9.
Yeah.
And
So,
It's a whole lot of thinking going on.
yeah, I
Isn't it
know.
crazy?
I hate it. Should be so
It
hard.
hurts.
I will exert Iduna
Mm-hmm.
to thing how far I'll go.
Ooh.
Moana.
So that one needs 4, and Aduna is a 4.
So look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Put one into your hand and the other into my inkwell, face down and exert it.
That's nice.
Good ability.
Yeah.
So my 2 cards.
Bobby Chulo. All right. Let me find.
So one of those gets to be ink.
This one is ink.
Yeah. By the way, this is another interesting thing. To my knowledge, with a card like that, a card that normally couldn't be played as ink can be played as ink.
Oh,
So you can, because it just says put one face down
Yeah.
exerted.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Both of those were able to be
Mhm.
inked, but that's good to know.
And I may be wrong, but as far as I know, it's almost like every other game, whereas the rules go from general to specific. You have the
Right.
general rule book, but if a card says something different, then the specific rule applies.
Right.
And in this case, it just says place one face down exerted as ink.
Right.
It doesn't say if it is able to be played as ink.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
Uh-oh.
I know. I'm gonna
I see
use her.
3.
These are ready. She is not. I'll play Ariel, Adventurous
Ariel.
Collector.
She's a little mermaid from what I hear.
Yeah, she's
So
petite.
she has evasive. Oh, this is a fun one.
Yeah.
Evasive, it says right on it, only characters with evasive can challenge this character, which means they're hard to catch. And I don't have one with evasive at this time, so I couldn't even challenge that character.
So she's free lore then at that point, or
Mhm.
free. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, mostly for the
essentially you
lore.
can quest and not be challenged.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Cool.
And then when you play a song, chosen character of yours gains evasive until the start of your next turn. That's nice.
Very cool. I would have waited to play her if I didn't need to play it to get her.
Uh-huh.
So next I will go questing for 4. 2 from Aurora and 2 from an improved Anna
Yeah.
to catch me up to you.
Yep. That's going to be tough. Because I don't know. Let's see how it goes. All right. So this is the way I like to look at it. First, I'm going to do my ready, set, ready. All them guys, set those up, and then I'll draw. But what I look at, and this is what I was saying last time, I look how much do you have on your next turn,
Yeah.
and I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is enough to win, which means I either have to win this turn or stop
me.
you in some way. And I don't know if I can. Because I only have 4 out here.
Yeah.
Which means I'm getting to 17 if I just quest. And then in order to get at yours, these are the 2 highest. So it would be a 2 and a 4 that I'd have to challenge. Now, I guess in a way I could.
Yeah, that's not impossible.
It's not. But let's see.
You get one for
All right. Here's what I'll do. Because I feel like playing these cards. I'm going to use these 4 ink to play Lost in the Woods, which makes all opposing characters get -2 strength until the start of my next turn.
Oh no.
Yeah. And then, because yours now have -2 strength, I'm going to do some challenging, which
Yeah.
will make it easier on my characters. So, what I got to do is let's see. So Anna triggers another lore if you have another hero, and right now you have 2, so that kind of sucks. So I have to knock them both out. All right. Here's where we'll start. I'm going to use this Jafar to challenge Anna. And Jafar is now a 5/5 when he's challenging. And Anna has -2 strength. So Jafar will take no damage.
So Jafar heals for 2.
Essentially, yeah. But we'll banish Anna.
Yep.
And then I will use Gotta Be Stitch to challenge Aurora with the same end result, because
Right.
Aurora will have the -2 strength and Stitch does 2, so that will banish Aurora. Now, the downside is you still got 4 out there and I've only got 2. So I'm going to just quest with these for the 2. So 1 with Olaf and 1 with Daisy. And I'll be at 15. It's your turn.
All right. I will. Ready?
And remember, because of the card, until the start of my next turn.
Yeah, that's the kicker.
Yeah. So this is the hope that now you won't challenge me because you don't have that much strength. So on your turn, your characters all still have -2 strength.
You know, this might be a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I don't have enough to get to 20, but who knows? Maybe I'll pick something up that helps me get lucky on that. We'll see.
Like you, brother.
Goodness.
Goodness indeed.
I think I will exert 5 ink.
That's all of that.
I know. And I'll play the card soldiers again.
Oh, those guys.
5/5,
that was a good
2
one.
lore.
5/5 with 2
Yeah,
lore.
he served me well.
Yep. The full deck, I think that's a funny name. Or yeah, funny name.
Yeah.
Card, yeah.
He's drawing. Can't use him.
Yep.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4 lore, which is not nearly enough. I have to do some damage to you, but I can't.
Here's the thing, though. This is where I look at it as, sure, you don't know what's in my hand, but I can't win with what I have on the board.
Yeah.
Which means you could get just as close as me to winning on your next turn as I would be on my next turn.
Right.
So I think just looking at the numbers as they are right now, you would win if I don't pull out the other lore. So it's a tricky one.
I think I'm going to play it a little conservatively so that you can't wipe me entirely. So I think I'll just adventure with, or go questing with Ariel.
There's 1,
Aduna,
2,
and Olaf.
3. Okay. So we're going up to 16.
16.
All right.
Okay. And I will pass.
My turn. I will. Ready. I have nothing that is drying, so there'll be no set for me this time, just to draw.
What an unlikely alliance between all these people.
Is that crazy? Should I play that? I probably should. And what did that one do? No. So I'm looking at your cards to see which one. What I'm looking at is I'm stuck again, which is one of your characters can't come back or can't get readied. But I'm trying to think if that's because you had just made it to 16. You only need 4. You're going to have 4 if I do that anyway. What I need to do is I need to get 1 more lore, which I can't. So I think this is over, but let's play it out.
Yeah.
I'm going to use these 4 to bring out another wicked sorcerer, Jafar.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Those are cool cards.
It is a cool card. But I've got 4 here and I can't do anything to stop you. because I can't challenge enough to knock you down to less than 4, because you only need 4 to
Oh,
break.
you're right.
Yeah. Because I could only reduce, because your 2 Olafs have 2 toughness. So I could technically knock them out. I could banish them,
Mm.
but then you still got 4.
Right.
And I can't do the other damage to finish those. So I'm going to do it as questing, and I'm going to only lose by 1 point instead of
Wow.
losing by more than that. And it's your turn. So you get to
Okay.
play out your win.
I will get these guys ready.
Every now and
Sure.
then there's a card that'll just, you do something and you get a lore. And if I had
Oh,
that kind of thing, that
then
would have been,
that would be a
boom,
killer
that would have
win.
been the win. Yeah. But nope, not this time. Today is not that day.
Loreless.
Yeah. Is
You
this a
know,
lore free zone?
I'm gonna tap, not tap. I will exert. Is it exerting even when you're using it for ink? Okay, I will exert the inkwell to its fullest, dry, and I'll
Yep.
play Rabbit, Reluctant Host. He is a 4/6
Oh gosh,
with
that's
2 lore.
tough. But 5 for a cost. So yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
And I think I will just
You
quest
can do the
with
4.
Olaf,
Yeah.
quest with Olaf,
That's 2,
quest for the Duna,
3,
and quest with Ariel.
4. And that's it. Because
Doot, doot, doot.
on your turn, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Well, that was a good game,
Cool.
Joe.
It was very good. And let's talk about the set for a little bit. Now that we played it, what do you think?
I like Lorcana.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect going into it. I kind of knew that it was magic adjacent,
Mhm.
but I didn't really know how it iterated on the format.
Yeah.
I like the idea of playing cards as your resource.
Mhm.
That's really cool. Not needing to separate out land and non-land,
Yeah.
like with Magic, and being able to theoretically play all of it.
Yeah. And then the only thing you have to watch for when you're building your own deck is that, is it able to be used as ink or not?
Yeah.
I mean, don't put too many cards that you can't use it as ink, because then you
Right.
can play them. But in the starter decks and in this set, in the gateway, of course it's balanced. So that's nice. Yeah.
I think overall it's a really good product, and I like what you were saying about it not being a structured game.
Mhm.
But it makes sense when you think about the resourcing.
Yeah.
They didn't, I guess, want to railroad too heavily what your options were or what you were turning into ink.
Yeah.
And I could see them keeping that as a consideration
Yeah.
at the expense of us kind of floundering for a minute. You knew how to play, so it
Yeah.
wasn't
I've
nearly
played
the
the game
same.
before. Yeah.
But if I were to break this out with my partner Chelsea, it would have taken a lot longer, I think, for us to kind of
Yeah,
make
because you
it
would have to
through
keep
one
going
turn.
back to the rules.
Yeah.
And
And-
the rules are laid out nicely, but you'd have to keep going back to them. Can I do this? Can I do
And
that?
and not knowing what a turn looked like
Yeah.
would have made it a lot more of a shaky beginning.
Yeah, I do think that, in my opinion at least, they should have structured your first 2, maybe 3 turns. Your first turn, because the first 7 cards are prescribed. And then they even tell you that in the list, like I mentioned before, where it'll tell you what your first 7 cards are going to be.
Yeah.
In my opinion, at least, they should have put in there, on your first turn, do this,
Yeah.
and then tell you why. So, place this card as ink and then exert it to cast your first, or play your first character, something like that.
To be fair,
It's
this is their
weird that they
first
didn't-
this
yeah.
is their first foray into Disney's first foray into trading cards as a playable format, as far as I know.
It's only been out for a year and 3 months.
So I guess it might not be fair to compare it to Magic and Pokemon, where they have
But I
30
still
years.
think it would be nice to guide you through why you would play
Agreed.
a card. And
Agreed.
that to me is the one thing that I think could have been helped benefit this and maybe their next set.
Yeah.
But I do like the structure. I really like opening the gates.
Yeah.
I like finishing steps essentially in the quest to open the gate to get more cards
That was
that
fun.
expose you to another game mechanic. I
Yeah.
think that's a really smart idea.
Yeah. I think that was really fun.
Yeah.
And it kind of spoon feeds you the mechanics,
Yes.
so that you're not constantly kind of like, okay, this is not an artifact, but this is an item,
Yeah.
and I don't know if I should turn that into ink or if I even can,
Yeah.
or if it's worth keeping, and that will just make the turns take a lot longer.
And I think too, at least like the quality of the product itself, I think it's a good quality product. I mean, the cards are cards and they're good cards. And I have these in sleeves, which you don't normally get, but that's just how I did this.
Mhm.
I really like the way they split them up, like I said, with the different gateways that you open. You get the 1, 2, 3, etc.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool. The box itself is well laid out. Everything has got its own pockets and stuff.
Yeah.
Nice. And the board, you get the hard board to work with. And I thought this was kind of neat. The little stand-ins, standees for your character. In a way, it can kind of clutter the board a little.
That's what I was
but it's
gonna
really
say.
neat. It's
Yeah.
neat that they did it.
Design-wise,
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah.
If they had them kind of side by side like that, maybe.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that way you could still. I had a problem at one point seeing what your cards did.
Oh, I
but,
did that on
they're small
purpose.
pieces. Right, exactly, right. Imperfect knowledge.
But I actually thought when I was looking more than once, I thought it looked neat on camera.
Yeah.
To have those there.
And if you're playing with
3D
kids,
aspect.
if you're playing with your
Yeah.
kids, then this is a fun way to keep it
Yeah.
feeling like a board game.
Yep.
That they might be more accustomed to.
Agreed.
With the cards kind of being like I don't know, kind of like a method of delivering
Mm.
the play.
Yeah.
So overall,
Agreed.
I really like it for what it is. It's fun.
And we'll play more of the regular game at some point too.
Cool. I love that.
But in the meantime, I think that wraps up our Lorcana Gateway playthrough. That was this sucker here that we just did. A lot of fun. It's a good game. We like the mechanics, and we'll definitely have more Lorcana happening here at Card Universe.
Absolutely. Now, would you say that for the $15 price tag, this beginner's kit is worth the money?
I think so. And now one thing I don't know is if any of the cards here actually trade or sell at a decent
No,
value. I
no,
don't
but
know
it's-
about that. So I don't know if it's monetarily good for some folks because, there's two levels of that. Is it
Right.
good to play? I think it's good to play. And I
Yeah.
think it's a great value for that because you get 2 full decks
Mhm.
for the price of 1 normal starter deck.
Right,
And you get
complete with the
instructions on
board.
how to play.
Yeah, you got the pieces, you got damage counters.
Yep.
Really good value that I
I think it
can't
is.
imagine Disney's making much money on.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know.
But they'll make it's the gateway, which I think is funny in and of itself.
Yeah,
They named it the
exactly. In
gateway.
a meta way,
Yeah.
it's perfect.
But we'll finish this one up and we can say bye.
See you later, guys.
See ya.
The preceding podcast was brought to you by One Joe Young. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com.